I've been everything you wanna be. Oh, I'm the cult of personality, like Mussolini and Kennedy. Look out for him!
I just love being out there with you guys. It's the only thing that matters to me.
The Bonner will forever be the greatest family in the history of wrestling.
The Iron Claw was directed by Sean Durkin, director of Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene, which was his directorial debut with Elizabeth Olsen, was the breakout role of Elizabeth Olsen. Stars Zac Efron as Kevin Von Erich, Jeremy Allen White, who was fucking phenomenal in The Bear. Definitely check that out, especially if you're someone who has been in the restaurant industry. It's on Hulu. He plays Kerry Von Erich. And this movie is about the tragedy of the Von Erich family, more specifically the brothers of the Von Erichs, Kerry, Mike, Kevin, and David. And it's the triumphs and tragedies of the Von Erich family. And first off, I know I haven't done this in a while. This has been the first in-depth review that I've done in a very long time, couple of years. So I'm going to be rusty, so bear with me here. And again, don't get used to this. This is probably a rare occasion type thing. But as I talked about my Out of the Theater reaction, I fucking love this movie. It is my favorite film of the year after more thought. It's better than Beau is Afraid. It's better than Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. And the performance from Zac Efron was a show stealer, and I'm hoping and praying that he gets an Oscar nomination for this movie. Jeremy Allen White, who wasn't in the movie as much as I thought he was going to be, plays Kerry. I'm a big fan of his from the movie or the show The Bear. That's on, I mentioned previously, it's on FX, on Hulu. It's a fantastic show. He stars in it. If you're a fan of his, or if you become a fan from this movie, definitely go check out that show. It is well worth your time. But he is great as well. The father, the guy who plays the father, who was also on the show Mindhunter. I'm forgetting the name of the actor, but he is great as Fritz Von Erich. One thing I will say, this could be kind of spoiler, but anybody who knows the story of the Von Erichs, and I will get into specifics more so with certain aspects of what they didn't talk about in this movie compared to all that. So, but if you're someone who knows about the Von Erichs or studied them, then you probably know a lot about what's happening in this movie. But Lance Von Erich, who is the fake Von Erich, who is going to be played by MJF, AEW World Champion Maxwell Jacob Friedman, they said his scenes were cut. I don't know how much he did record, but it was a blink and you missed a cameo in this movie. You could just tell by the face and the body frame that was him. So again, I can't really comment on his performance because it was just like a little flex and all that other stuff. But what do you call it? One thing I will say, it's more of a nitpick of this movie because there wasn't really any issues I really had. I gotta rewatch it because I gotta see if the guy who plays Ric Flair, because I felt like he was overacting it, which that's saying something when you're playing Ric Flair. That's probably my only real critique. They did leave certain aspects of the movie out. Like, okay, so anybody who knows what happened to Kerry, and I guess I'll say a spoiler alert for the movie since, again, but again, anybody who knows about this is based on a true story. Kerry, of course, was the Tex Tornado in WWE, WWF at the time. He won the Intercontinental title. He got popped for drugs. He got fired. And he was facing legal issues going to prison for drug issues. Now, they didn't really talk about that in the movie. They did talk about his fake leg or fake foot. Also, he got into a motorcycle accident before he went to WWE. And he got into a motorcycle accident that he had to wear, he was amputee, he had to wear a prosthetic foot. And it was basically a family secret for years until after he passed and all that. So like when he was a Tex Tornado in WWF, he was wearing a leg. You wouldn't notice it really if you watch some of his matches. But again, it was the drug stuff that happened where he was in some legal issues, that he was facing prison time. That was something that wasn't added into it, which led to the depression, which led to him committing suicide. Again, like, it is a spoiler, but again, if you know about the story, then you know what happens to a lot of brothers. I did actually appreciate that they didn't go full on, like they didn't show every brutal thing that happened. Like Kerry committed suicide. They just heard a shot. You didn't see him do it, anything like that. You know, I kind of like that, because some movies they'll just go full on, show everything and all that. Kind of like that they left that there. I thought the ending was heartbreaking, but even in some cases kind of heartwarming with, you know, Kevin and all that. Zac Efron, again, deserves an Oscar nomination. I'm going to be pissed if he doesn't get it. I was hoping that Jeremy Allen White would be in it longer, to maybe hopefully he could get Best Supporting Actor. He could still get it, but I think the guy who played David Von Erich will probably, if they do a supporting actor role, I think he would get the role. Lily James as Kevin's wife was also really great in this movie. Lily James is, anything I've seen her in, she's fantastic and all that. I like the soundtrack. It's very 70s, you know, with like Don't Fear the Reaper, which was in the trailers. Tom Sawyer by Rush, which was in the trailers. Some great music there. If you're going into this movie expecting a wrestling biopic, this is more of a movie about brothers. It's not really, like, it's like a blink and you miss a scene with the Von Erichs. Again, anybody who knows the Von Erichs, they had a very long-standing feud with the Freebirds, Fabulous Freebirds. It was like a blink and you miss a thing. They mainly, main thing they really focused on in terms of wrestling, right, was the quest for the World Championship, which was the NWA Heavyweight Championship. That was the main wrestling aspect of this movie. There wasn't really much else in terms of, like, you know, they didn't go in depth in their feud with the Freebirds. It was like a montage, right? So again, if you're going to this movie thinking, oh, it's going to be like The Wrestler, right, where there's going to be a lot of wrestling stuff, it's more so a movie about brothers and the tragedy that unfolded, the family of the Von Erichs and all that. So I really recommend this movie. There's not too much else I can say, because again, I'm kind of already spoiling the movie as it is. But again, it's kind of difficult with these movies because they're based on true stories. If you know the story about the movie or the characters, you kind of know where certain things end. You know where certain characters meet their end or what happens to them and all that stuff. But very heartbreaking movie. I'll admit I got choked up. Even if you saw my reaction, I got a little choked up when I was talking about it. It's a movie that moved me. As someone who, again, wasn't alive during the Von Erichs, but through like WWE DVDs and all that, I was able to learn more about them. I knew like a little bit of Texas Tornado. That was probably the only thing I knew about the Von Erichs. But it was something that I was able to learn from like WWE DVDs and all that stuff, and then going and doing research and also a good companion piece to this. I recommend I think it's season 1 of Dark Side of the Ring. It's the episode of the Von Erichs where Kevin's in the episode. Very great episode, and I recommend checking that out as like a companion piece if you want to know more about the whole Von Erich stuff after you see this movie. I used to give a ranking of like 5 nooses. Right now, it's a work in progress, but I'm going to give this movie, despite that, 5 out of 5. I think this is a fantastic film. I believe that it's going to get Oscar buzz. I hope it gets Oscar buzz, and I think that Zac Efron should get a nomination for Best Actor for this movie. He had a performance of a lifetime in this movie. And as someone who's been a fan of Zac Efron as an actor for many years, I said this like 10 years ago that I said that one day he will have an Oscar on his mantle, and I'm hoping this may at least the nomination. So hopefully that will happen. And again, definitely check this movie out if you haven't already. And as always, guys, if you like this, leave a thumbs up. If you want to give your thoughts about the movie or give your thoughts about the Von Erichs, leave it in the comment section. Again, I'm rusty, so I'm trying to do everything I can to kind of bring an old flavor back to this channel and all that. And who knows, maybe down the line I'll do more reviews like this in the future. I'm still doing Halloween Ends sometime next year, so be on the lookout for that. And with that, I bid you all adieu. Make sure all that good stuff. And ta-ta for now. Take care, guys. Peace.